Kansas City Chief place kicker Harrison Butker
Okay.
created a bit of an uproar.
Mm-hmm.
So as it stands, he was the commencement speaker at Benedictine College. Essentially, Harrison goes out and has a speech about promoting the idea of women after graduation being housewives and mothers versus going into the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Social media went absolutely bananas. They were invoking, was it Handmaid's Tales and so forth and so on. Now, what made this even bigger story is the fact that he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, which then brought in Travis Kelce, a.k.a. Mr. Taylor Swift. And so he and his brother talked about it in their podcast, and then Patrick Mahomes talked about it. In both cases, they said they stand with Harrison, but not with his comments, not with the statements. Stand with him as a teammate, as their brother on the team, but they don't support his comments or anything of that nature. So I had a question in there. You think Harrison was right for using that platform to promote his own ideas about family, women, and women's roles? Or should he have used that platform to have a speech that was more in line with, say, the mission of the school and better at, say, reading the audience, which would be those graduating students?
Let me ask you this: Who asked him to do this? It was a commencement speech, right?
Correct.
So who asked him?
Well, I would imagine the school asked him because it was a commencement speech.
Right. So listen, I've never given one, but what I'm assuming, if a school asked me to do a commencement speech, I'm making up my speech. Listen, if you want to write my speech and tell me exactly, listen, I've been through a lot of issues with jobs and things like that. I just got out of a situation with a job not too long ago, talking about what they want me to say and what they want me to do and blah, 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 blah. If a school is asking me, J. Rob, to do a commencement speech, I'm going to give the speech that I want to give. Okay? You didn't give me any guidelines. Oh, they didn't say, Harrison, you need to say this. You need to say that. Because I'm pretty sure if they did, he would have probably said F off. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're asking me to give a commencement speech, I'm going to give the speech that I want to give. And if I'm giving a speech that I want to give, it's my personal feelings that I want to give and to uplift these students and give them a little bit of my thoughts and, my life story and how I think that, people should go moving forward in terms of their careers, in family, in whatever it is. I have no problem with anyone speaking their truth. I love truth. You know that. I love truth. And listen, you and I debate so many different topics. I don't agree with half the crap you say. You don't give with half the crap I say, right? But guess what? I respect you as a man, number one, and I respect everything you say, and I respect your views. I don't have to agree with them, right? So if you go and you give a speech somewhere, if I go and give a speech anywhere, and I'm telling exactly what I feel and the message that I want to give to these students, I don't think there's anything wrong. He didn't use them. You're asking me, do I think he used them as a platform? No, they asked him. I don't think he called them up, hey, can I give a commencement speech? Because I want to, I want to go and give my own ways of thinking to these students. No, they asked him. I mean, that's what I'm getting from the story. So I don't think that he did anything wrong. Just because people didn't agree with him, okay, you don't agree with him. I mean, what's the big deal? His teammates don't agree with his thoughts, but they respect him as a man. They respect him as a teammate. That's why you said they are standing by him. I applaud them. I don't agree with what he said, but that's just my opinion, So I don't really see the big jump.
So this is one of those rare times where you are absolutely right.
What do you mean rare? Rare times?
Because I agree. I agree with you.
Oh, you agree with me?
I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Listen, it's a commencement speech. You asked him. He delivered his speech. He used it as a platform that he saw fit, said what he wanted to say. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what his connection to the school is. If I recall, he went to Georgia Tech University where he played football. So I don't know what the connection is. Listen, commencement speech, to the future universities, you call me or Jay, we're speaking about what we want to talk about, right? That's it. So I don't know why they did it, but I think they got exactly what they signed up for, even if they did not know what they were signing up for. Done. Mm-hmm. So nothing to see here. I thought it was interesting that his teammates, meaning Travis and Patrick, made it a point to point out that they didn't support his opinion, right? And not what we're talking about, whether or not he should have used that platform. So you just kind of feel like maybe they felt a need, right, to say, hey, we don't stand with that, right? Mm-hmm. That's not us, right? Because society as a whole was probably like, hey, does Patrick Mahomes feel that way? Does Travis Kelce feel that way? So I just thought it was interesting, and it was they talked about that from that standpoint as well. Too.
We talked about this before. This whole birds of a feather flock together stuff. Why would people be even thinking or assuming does Patrick feel that way? And does Travis feel that way?
I think it's a bit of this Neanderthal football player kind of thing. It's an old way of thinking, but I think there's a part of this all guys football. This men's club, men are out here working, and women need to be in the kitchen someplace, right? Like, and we all feel that, meaning we as football players and men, and so maybe that's the reflex reaction, right? Like, and it's not unfounded, Jay, right? Like the NFL, which, by the way, has done an amazing job, I think quietly but very effectively, has changed the opinion. There are the amount of growth that we've seen in this sport has a lot to do with the growth on the women viewership, right? More female fans coming into that. So I think they've done a great job of that, but there's a long history of it being of the men's club. So maybe that's where people were responding to, thinking that old way of thinking, but I'm here to tell you that is not today's NFL by a long shot.
Yeah, and I know he was saying in his speech, basically he was saying paraphrasing that women's place is in the home. And personally, me, I don't believe in that crap at all. Like, I think women are doing the damn thing today, and they need to be where they want to be. Right now, they are killing it in the workforce. They're doing so many things, and they're doing better than a lot of men today, right? So I personally don't believe in his opinion, but who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I agree. And a lot of these people online that's taking him down for his own personal opinion on it, like, if you don't agree with the man, you don't agree with the man. Just keep it moving. Like, why are you, but that's the problem, I think, with everybody on social media today, and everybody's concerned about what the next man is doing, what the next man is thinking. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. It's really just not a problem. And I don't know why his teammates felt the need to go out and say, well, I'm not stupid. I know why they did it. Right. I know why they did it, but I just wish that they didn't. I just probably would listen. If you're out there and you're saying something I don't agree with, right? Publicly, right? You're my brother, right? So I'm not going to go out and say, well, I don't agree with what KO said and stuff like that. Like, I don't need, I'm just not going to say nothing.
Well, listen, if I were to go out and say something, if I'm recorded or viewed as saying something that is, that maybe the masses feel that is not in line, or not in line with what the overall opinion is, if you will, I'm a part of the J&K show. We're synonymous, right? It wouldn't surprise me if you're out, now somebody sticks a mic in your face and say, hey, your brother, your co-host said blank. Do you share those thoughts, right? Why do I say? It happens now, right? People hear you and they'll say, hey, do you feel that way? Yeah. But I think it's a little, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. They are the face of this. Listen, before Kelce started dating Taylor Swift, they probably wouldn't have put a mic in his face. It would have been all Patrick Mahomes, right? Yeah. But now his opinion matters for that, right? Right. And had he said, think of it this way, had he said something and came out and said that he supported Harrison Butker's comments, then a mic would have been put in Taylor Swift's face, right?
Yeah.
You know, it would, you know,
And that would have been the news.
right.
Now
So
Travis supports and he
right,
agrees to blah, 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 and
right.
now he's in trouble.
Right. So it would have just been this spin cycle kind of going around. I think the story will die out now, as far as where it is. Listen, it's great for was it Benedictine College? Never heard of them. It's a liberal liberal college that I've never heard of before.
Right.
But I'm sure they must be liking the pub. So.
They're gonna like that. They're gonna like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nah, it's very interesting. Listen, at the end of the day, you know, they're boys, they're teammates. You know, I easily would come out and say, listen, I don't agree with what KO said or whatever like that. And they should have said, I don't agree with him, but you know, he's entitled to his own opinion, and that's my boy. I love him, and it's all good.